This is Brandon from Bowling Green, Kentucky. If you had to, could you do an entire Undisputed or podcast without your notes and papers in front of you? Man, Brandon, I wish I had the answer to that question, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. As for this podcast, trust me, it is extremely difficult to talk for an hour straight without stopping while staying on point and continuing to make fresh new points. Stay on point, make fresh new points. So, thank you, God, you did give me the ability to write. I can write in book form, or I can write to what's called broadcast. Two very different voices. One's my writing voice, and one, for this podcast, is my speaking voice. So I do script out most of what's on this podcast. That way I have a roadmap, I have a blueprint, so I'm not just shooting from the lip and saying things that might or might not come out the way that I originally wanted them to. I am constantly surprised by how often I get quoted out of this podcast. Ernestine gets her Google alerts. She often says to me, did you say this on your podcast? And I say, I sure did. I stand behind it because I actually thought about it. I scripted it out, or I memorized it. I didn't shoot it from the lip. I'm just not sure this podcast would be any good at all. I'm not sure it's any good at all anyway, but I'm not sure it would be any good at all if I just winged it. Again, not sure if it's any good scripted, but it's got to be better than if I just winged it. But maybe I should try going extemporaneous, off the top of my head. I don't know, maybe it would be better. Sure would save me a lot of hours. Now for Undisputed. I did go solo one day for a full show in an emergency with very little time to prepare. It's just Jen Hale, our moderator, teeing me up with a question and me talking straight into the camera without notes, 10, 12 minutes straight at a time for 2.5 hours. And it went, I don't know, pretty well. I didn't hate it. I didn't ramble. I didn't lose my train of thought. So maybe I should just trust myself more. But remember, on Undisputed, my notes are my homework. It's my ammo. Most of them I have flash memorized, but occasionally I need to glance down for that one case closing number just to make sure I get it exactly right. So maybe on August 28th, when Undisputed returns, I'm on to Cincinnati. I hope you enjoyed that video. You ready for more? Make sure you click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from the Skip Bayless Show. And don't forget to check out the full episode of the show wherever you get your podcasts by clicking the link in the description.